Hi, good evening. This is Edness Technologies. Victory here representing. So, if this is your first time of joining us, do like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button so you get notified whenever we post our videos. And on today's class, we'll be doing something on data entry. But first, let's define what data entry is. So over here we have on our display that data entry is a process of manually or automatically inputting data into computer system. This data can come from various sources such as paper documents, forms, electronic files. The purpose of data entering is to digitalize the information so that it can be easily stored and accessed and managed. So I'm going to be explaining this in a layman understanding. Here, data entering simply is what we do within us, within our environment, but over here we do it manually. So let's say you work as a receptionist or a sales rep in your organization, and there's buying and selling, or there's a report that needs to be written down. Maybe you work in a healthcare organization, you need to write down the information of some patients. You write it down in a form, or most times you give them form to fill, and afterward you take a record of the number of patients you have or the number of sales that was made for the day. That's actually data entry job you're doing. But now it's just manually, just in the paper and a pen format. But once you move from a pen and a paper format into going into an electronic file, that is you serving as a data entry specialist. And the second definition says, in other words, data entry is like typing information into a computer. It is a way of converting information from a physical form into a digital format, which is something I earlier mentioned. And it said it can be used in healthcare organizations, accounting, and government institutions. Now, let's get to know who a data entry specialist is. Okay, a data entry specialist is someone who enters data into a computer system. The data can come from various sources such as paper documents, forms, and electronic files. The specialist is responsible for ensuring that the data is entered accurately in a timely manner and they are also responsible for maintaining the data and generating reports. So here, um, in our physical world, you might be a sales rep or a receptionist, but in a digital world, you're a data entry specialist. Why? You take out the information you have in your paper, in your documents, in your hard copy, and you transfer it into an electronic files. You organize it. And the second feature says you, as a data entry specialist, you have a strong typing skills, attention to details. They also have experience with specific software programs such as Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. This is like your deal, your everyday tools as a data entry specialist, because you will need to enter people's data rows by row. Let's say okay, let me do for a sales company. You enter the dates, the product that was sold, and how much that was made. So it's always in an Excel. And we still go further to explain what a Microsoft Excel is and how it works. So over here, this is what a entry specialist is and what they do. So you should just have a basic knowledge to impute and manipulate your data. And then we earlier mentioned that you will need specific tools to work with as a data entry specialist, which is the Microsoft Excel and the Google Sheets. Now let's know what a Microsoft Excel software is. Let's start from there. So here, Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet program that allows you to input data in rows and columns. Okay, I will attach the video of what a Microsoft Excel looks at the video, and I will also display a Microsoft Excel workbook. So back to the definition, it says it allows you to input data in rows and columns. That's to say, a Microsoft Excel is a software, a program that is made up of rows and columns, which a data entry specialist can use, and older specialists in the tech field can also use. It's a Microsoft tool that can be used for varieties of tasks, including data entry, analysis, and reporting. That's to say, a data analyst can also use that. So, as a data entry specialist, you can use Excel, that's Microsoft Excel, to enter data. That's to say, you can manually type your data into cells or import data from other sources, such as your CSV files or databases. So let's say people fill in their forms that has their name, their age, their state of origin, and whatever the information that was required of them. And now, as a data entry specialist, you're required to put it in a digital format, in electronic format, so it could be easily accessed, timely, and whenever due. So that's the difference between the sales job you have at your organization and you working as a data entry specialist. So again, you use Excel to organize data, you validate data, you generate reports. And in organizing data, you can use Excel sorting, the filtering features to organize data in a specific way. For example, you can sort data alphabetically or numerically, and you can filter data based on specific criteria. So let's do this. Let's say okay, let's do for the sorting first. You have a student and you want their names to come alphabetically. You do the sorting. We'll be trying it out in this video. And then you have for the filtering method. Let's say for an organization, you want patients with the genotype of AA to appear first, or those with a blood group of O positive to appear first. So you use the filter option, the method, and then impute that and you get your results. To validate data, you can use Excel data validation feature to ensure that data is entered correctly. For example, you can create a drop-down list for valid values or search routes for data entry. Generate reports, you can use Excel charting, graphic features to create reports that summarize and visualize data. So let's say we have a sales record of about 5 different products that a company produces, and after entering the sales record for the year for each of the month, so we want to know which of the products was our highest seller for the year. That is where the graphic features and the chart features comes in, and of course we'll be showing it as the class progresses. So let's get down to business. Let me show you what an Excel workbook looks like, and then we'll do one or two, enter a data, and then we'll enter data, we'll organize it, and then we'll validate it, and then we'll generate reports. So let's go. So here is what an Excel workbook looks like. An Excel sheet is just this one here. You can call this an Excel sheet. As you can see here, it's sheet 1. But once you have more than 2 sheets, then it's an Excel workbook. And then over there we have Excel. These are our rows and our columns. And now we want to enter data. Remember, we said let's go back here and see what we have to do. We'll have to enter data, we'll organize the data, and we'll validate data, then we'll generate reports. So let's do this. First, I'm going to open a new sheet here. So let's say I'm entering data for a health organization. So here now, I'm going to do name. I'm going to first enter their name, and then I'll enter their gender, then age. This is what is required of them, their blood group, and let's say marital status. Let's just write it as status. So now blood group here, we are not seeing it boldly, so we have to adjust the cell. And doing that, we'll place our cursor here in between the D and E. So once we have our cross sign this way, you right click and drag to the right. But if you want to, you feel that this is bigger now, you will still right click and then drag to the left till you get the required shape that you want. So now how do we enter this data? First here let's say the first versions we have let's use Daniel, and then Daniel is a male. Daniel is 23 years old. His blood group is O positive. And then here, Daniel is single. So that's it. We've entered the data now. Okay, let's do this again. Let's do V. V is a female. And then age is 24. V is B positive. V is B positive and V is single. Then you come here, we have Kelly. Kelly is a male and Kelly is 35 years old. Kelly is of the blood group of O positive. Okay, let's do A positive now. So we could do something here. And then Kelly's married. Kelly's married. And then let's have what are we doing? Okay, let's use Nene. Aya is female. Then Nene is 28 years. And is O. Okay, let's do B negative. And Nene is married. So now we've entered our data, and we want to organize it. There are different ways to organize our data. First, we want to make it look attractive and more presentable to anybody that will be accessing the data. So how do we get to do this? First, we highlight name down to this, and then click on borders, and then you have borders. And then I forgot to number them because this serial number here is not your serial number. This is just the Excel numbers. If you're working with formulas, these are the numbers you work with for Excel formulas. So now I will need to add my serial number. So what I'll do is I'll take my cursor to A. So once I have this arrow pointing down, I right click and then I click on insert and I have a new number. So I can decide to number here 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are still other short formulas that we can use in numbering, and we'll be trying it out all. So first I'll add borders here. So first thing first, let's try let's say we have about 200 patients to enter their names, and if I have to say for my own, if you were to enter the name one after the other this way, at the time you might be lost. And as a data entry specialist, you need to be organized and you need your data accurate. And when I mentioned you might be lost, is that you might interchange it at a particular time. So this a short formula of what we can do, and we can write it accurately and have our data correct. So what we'll do here is we click on the alter button, then plus a D plus an O, and then you have this dialog box displayed there. So what this does, since we already had names 1 to 4, and then the next name is 5. So we enter the serial number 5, and then this person's name is, okay, let's say now this is UG name, and then UG is a female. UG is 25, O positive, and then she's single. Then we'll click on enter. So, okay, let's do this. We have the serial number is 5, sorry. And we said for UG, female, age 24, be positive, and then enter. So UG's name is now here from the beginning. So this was actually a mistake. So we can go back to find previous. This still UG again. So we can decide to name this UG be the number 1, and then this is just to get the dialog box so that it will be easy. Though this is not properly arranged, but I'm trying to give an example of what we can do, and then we can just enter the data we need directly, and afterwards we have it displayed in our table and then arranged properly. So here I think, okay, we missed something here. To get it properly arranged, first I will have to enter here. You have 1, you have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. So the first step here is highlight the headlines, the headings, and hold it down. Guys, click on what is highlighted, then the alternate button plus the alternate button, the alternate button plus D plus O, and then we have this now. So this name UG, so let's change this person's name, the next name to say Favor, and then we'll say 1025 and every other thing there. So that's Favor now, and you keep entering the name to have your total names that you have, and then that's for that. So let's see now. We have male, we have 2 male, we have 2 females, and we have O positive, B positive. This, okay, let's use single married. So now I want the male to come up first, so it will not be touching it. So let the males come up first, then followed by the female, and then this is where we do the sorting. So here we highlight this, and then we'll go to sort and filter here, and then we'll click custom sorts, and then we want to sort values. This is the column now, so you highlight the columns you want to sort. We want to sort on gender. We want the male to come up first, then the female afterwards. So we'll click on gender, and then click on values. So A to Z alphabetically, I think. Okay, let's do custom lists. Male, then female, then click on OK, and let's see what happens. So here now the male comes first, afterwards the female. And then let's try something. We want the single, first, then afterwards the married. Then you can also do it that same way. Again, you can decide to change your font sizes. So let's highlight all. You either highlight this way or you click on Ctrl A, and then this is your font. You can click on this drop down button and then have okay, for me my favorite is Times New Roman. Type is and enter. Increase the font size to 12, and then as this the headlines, the name, gender, age and blood group, I can set to increase it to 16, or let's do 14. And then here we see that step by step you've organized your data. And then the next we have on the list is said okay, we filter data. Okay, validate data. You can use Excel data validation feature to ensure that the data is entered correctly. For example, you can create a drop down list for valid values or set truths for data entry. So let's do this. So let's say here I want it to be a scenario that once I click here, I can choose either if you're male or female. Okay, let's do it for blood group. So here, click on it this way. Go to data validation. Click on data validation. Then impute a message. Okay, let's go back to setting. So any value, text. So you click on list. So the sources you want it to source is, let it okay, what you want to have in the option is either the person is O positive, A positive, B positive, or B negative. So we highlight the cells here and then click on OK. So that way now let's say this the fifth person, and this fifth person is let's say John. John is a male. John is let's say 33. So here for this blood group, we'll decide, we'll come here, click on this point, and I have John. Now we have an option, okay, B positive, B negative, A positive, and O positive. So let's say John is O positive, we'll click on O positive, and then we have it there. This is okay. Let's change this. We'll click and then we have O positive. And then John is married. So I think we'll be pausing for here. We'll be pausing here for the meantime. Then stay tuned. We'll continue our class next time.